Google uses internal links to determine how important pages on your website are. The problem most websites have is the pages that have the most internal links are not the ones that are most important in terms of getting traffic from Google. This is especially true when it comes to location pages, as they're often the most profitable pages on your website. In today's video, I'm going to teach you exactly how you can get around this and give you the jQuery code you can use on your projects. Okay, so if we first go into Search Console and then scroll down on the left and click on Links, where it says internal links right here, if we click on more, this is going to show us all of the top internally linked pages on your website. And if you look in here, you'll probably notice something like what I've got, where cookies policy, sitemap, privacy policy, these things are some of the most internally linked pages on the website. And there's obviously an absence here of the location pages. And the reason for that is because if we look in the websites, they'll usually have things like cookies, privacy policy, sitemap in the footer. Or in the main menu there'll be all these different pages, but you often won't find location pages in any of these places. Or the other thing is obviously that you've got things like cookies, privacy are often internally linked to from forms and stuff like that. But you won't get that with location pages for two reasons. And the first reason is that they don't aid the user in any way. So you're not really going to be able to internally link to something from your content to link to like a Brentwood page that talks about how you can help business owners in Brentwood or how you can fix the electrics of a Brentwood homeowner. That's the first reason. And the second reason is that when people are on the site, those pages don't really have any real relevance to them. So having them in the main menu right here doesn't really make any sense to somebody that's visiting the website. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because there's basically two ways you can deal with this. If the website doesn't get a lot of branded traffic and the pure purpose of the website is to generate traffic so that you can get leads, then you want to put it in your main menu like this, because like this we can show Google how important these pages are and they'll really power them up and they'll have a better chance of ranking. If you have a big company that you're working with but you want to build out these location targeted pages to get traffic, because they work obviously really well, then you want to put them in the footer. And the way you go about that is, well, there's two ways really. The way I used to do it was I used to have a service area page and I would link to that page in the footer, and then that service area page would then link to all of the different location pages, and that worked okay and I got leads coming through that. But then what I discovered was actually a better way of doing it is having a like sub menu in the footer of the locations and then having it so you can click a little button to open it up. And I just published this on the blog. Well, actually, I'm just about to publish it along with this video. And basically, I just show right here how it works. Is you've got at the bottom here, you have this little triangle, and you can click on that, and it will open up the menu. And if you clicked it again, it would close the menu, and that will internally link to all of those pages right there. And when you do it in that way, what happens is Google sees that every single page on your website links to that page, and so it thinks it's more important. It's a way that we can bypass the fact that the page doesn't make sense to internally link to because it's not going to aid the user, but instead we can still internally link to it, if you see what I mean. Now, I would say don't get too hung up over it like I used to, because I used to be a web designer, and you know, talk to me 5 years ago, there's no way I would have put locations top level in the menu. But the reality of the situation is that if somebody comes on this website and they're looking for SEO services, they're looking for consultancy, right? If they go in here, they hover on this and they click on Stevenage and they hit this page, they might go, oh, what have I clicked on here? And then they go, oh, I don't know what this is. And then they might go back and then go to the consultancy page. And you see how that's a completely different thing to what maybe you was thinking in the past, if you're anything like me, where you think people are going to look at that and they'll go, oh, this site's rubbish, I'm not going to use it. That's really not what happens. And when you start tracking conversions, you'll see that a lot of these things up here, they're just distractions anyway. Like, you're better off not having this stuff here if your traffic source is going straight through to something. So let's say they landed straight on the Magento page, for example. This page would convert better if we didn't have these different links at the top, because we're giving people options to click away right here. That's what we're giving them. They're not going to land on this page having searched for Magento SEO agency and then go, oh, do you know what, actually I'd like to see how much a website would cost. That would never ever happen. Like, the chances of that happening are so slim that I feel confident saying that would never ever happen. So instead, if we didn't have anything here, and instead we had some sort of value add up here, like you know, some sort of statement that increased the chances of a conversion, we would do a lot better in terms of conversion rate. So going back to the point here, I've got all of the code on the blog that I think I've just closed now. Hang on a second. Yeah, I've got all of the code right here, that shows you how to actually make this happen on your website. If you're in WordPress, you can pretty much just copy and paste all this stuff. If not, you'll have to tweak the code a little bit, but all of the hard work's already been done. You add this class right here to the menu item, and if you don't have that CSS classes, you can turn that back on by clicking on screen options and then enabling it. You paste that in, and then you add this CSS to your theme, and then you add this jQuery inside a document.ready function, and this basically does two things. It adds the little triangle that you see right here. It adds this triangle after that menu item, and then it also gives you the ability to do the slide toggle where it shows and hides it when you click on it. It works really well straight away. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share in this video. There isn't really too much more to say. This is the way I do it going forward. The only other thing that I would do going forward as well, I would consider doing, is actually removing the need for this service area page, as it's not really going to be targeted to any good keyword. I think I found one before that was okay, but nothing amazing. So we could actually completely get rid of this locations landing page and just make it so this whole link, when you click on it, it would open that instead, and you'd just have to mess around with the jQuery a little bit. Just change that to that. Yeah, so change that class to the same as that class, and then that would open that as the whole thing. But yeah, not really much more to say on this. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.